Oh, look at you. You didn't even need me to remind you.
Yay! Yay! All right, good evening, everybody. We are so glad you're joining us. If you didn't hear Laura's announcement, if you would be so kind as to put your dog in to the chat so she can put you in for the Wheel of Prizes and so we can also take attendance. Because as of February, March, we've been taking attendance just so we know who's coming, who has a dog, who's training, because that way we can follow up with people who are not possibly here.
And listen, since February, we've gone from 30% of the raisers coming to these things, at least one during the course of the month. We've gone from 30% to 50% to 30%. And last month it was 70%. Yay! Y'all are awesome.
You like my clapping hands, Valerie? Yes, that's awesome.
Very teachery of you to have those.
Yes, that's why I have them. Exactly. All right. So a couple of things we mentioned every time, but we always have new people. So if you have a medical issue and you're not sure what to do, please call the office. That's your first line of defense. And they will, thankfully, there are people in the office now that will hopefully answer your phone call and they will direct you in the correct place. However, if you have something that you feel you can handle, like a hotspot has just begun and you think you can handle it, the minute though, I tell you, hotspots blow up, boom, overnight or in a few hours. So if you're not sure what to do, please call the office to find out. There's a couple of things you can do if one just starts, but like I said, they do go very quickly. And this is the time of year when we, especially in Florida, when we see our pups, our Goldens, mostly with hotspots. So just be aware of that. Sometimes they blow up after a bath. Sometimes they blow up if your dog has been in water other than a bath. So just be aware. A hot spot, if you don't know, is just a spot on their skin, neck, under their ears, under their anywhere, that suddenly begins to turn red and then gets bigger and bigger, and then it gets pussy and it's very ugly. So just be aware of them. Some dogs never get them, but we have some Goldens who have a tendency to get them. So call the office if you have any questions medically. Be sure that you are weighing your dog. Please weigh your dog on a regular basis. Now, the puppies, their weight is supposed to go up. They're puppies, they're eating a lot, some of them 3 times a day, their weight's supposed to. But if you have a dog out of prison that's over 2 or 18 months to 2.5, their weight should not fluctuate much. You should be able to, when you put your hand along their ribs, you should be able to feel their ribs, but not see their ribs. If you have to really dig in there to feel the ribs, they're probably too heavy. So be aware of that. We don't like to give an actual weight because every dog varies. It varies by female, male, it varies by breed, Goldens, Labs. So, but it's important that you weigh your dog. One place that I know you can weigh is Publix. Or you could just go into your vet's office and say, I just need my dog weighed. You know, they're a service dog in training and this is something important that we need to do. I know for me, I recently was at a training, whatever last training we just did in person, and I had, it was client follow-up. So I had Wilson with me and he's about 68 pounds, and both Janet and I agreed that I had started to feed him more, but we decided just based on not even his weight, just based on how he looked and how his ribs felt, that he should probably I should make sure I'm giving him extra. So now he's getting extra. I think he's just an active dog and he might just be thin for his life until he gets placed and that person makes him fatter. But just be aware of your weight. No, not your weight, your dog's weight. You could be aware of yours too if you want to be. But it's really important that our dogs especially our older dogs, are not gaining a ton of weight. when you get them, if you pick up a dog from prison and they are 68 pounds, 70 pounds, unless New Horizons tells you that they need to gain weight, they should be that 68 to 70 pounds once you bring them back. So just be aware of that. Puppies are totally different. We're not talking about 6-month-old puppies, 8-month-old puppies. Okay. We're talking about the prison dogs. And you want to watch, labs have a tendency to also to just get overweight quickly. So be aware of that. All right. Weight.
Case in point on weight. Her Wilson was too thin at 68 pounds.
Yeah.
Bissell is 68.5 pounds, and I cut his kibble down a half cup because he was feeling a little soft along the ribs. That's why we can't say your dog should weigh 70 pounds. Your dog should weigh, it's a moving target because they're as individual as we all are. Aren't you glad nobody says you have to weigh 125 pounds? One leg. Okay, I'm out.
Yes. Same thing with Quinn. Quinn is the other dog I have. She also weighs 68 pounds and she looks overweight because she's got a ton of fur. We're constantly brushing her, but she's not. I can feel her ribs nicely. So every dog varies. Okay. Other thing, grooming. Please make sure that you're not letting their Grinch fur on their paws get out of control when you are taking your dog out. That mostly applies to the Goldens. I don't really think the Labs have that problem. However, the problem that Labs have that Goldens don't always have is Labs pick up dirt real quickly and you may not notice it because just the way their hair is, but they get dirty quickly, and especially the white ones. I guess the black ones do too. You just don't notice it as much. So just be aware if they need a bath, that you're taking them out bathed and clean and groomed. If you have trouble grooming their feet, let somebody know. We'll try and help you. We'll try, there's several videos on the friends page. So check those out. I believe they're under videos if you're on your computer. I don't know how they show up if you're on your phone. So there are some groomings, but if you don't know how to do it, please reach out. We don't want our dogs going out and looking like they need a haircut. What else, Laura? What else do we cover first thing? I've got weight, we've got grooming.
And we always talk about loose leash walking.
Yes. You want to go first?
It's important. Okay, over to Wendy.
So one of the things you can do for loose leash walking is if you're struggling with your dog, that collar can come right up behind those ears. Now it's not so that you can take the leash and like this, it's just so that it's up behind their ears and it gives you a little bit more control with the martingale collar. Please make sure that your dog is on or is wearing a martingale collar. I know some of the other collars are cooler looking. They have designs and different colors. I get that. But our organization trains with the martingale. So please make sure that the dog you have has a martingale collar on unless you have been given permission by the office to put a different collar on them. Okay. Everything you do with your dog, if it's different than what you hear on trainings, must come by permission through the office. You have to call them and say, hey, like changing foods or changing collars, any of that stuff goes through the office. You just need to call and say, hey, like if you think your dog possibly has an allergy and maybe they're allergic to the food, the from, then the first line of defense is to call the office, let them know. Don't just change the dog's food because you feel like it. I understand, we all take very good care of these dogs. We love them like they are our own. I get that. And so your first thing is, oh, I want to clear this up right away. I get it. But you have to remember that that dog is not always going to be with you, that they're going to be changing places. And the next place they go to, they're going to get fed from. And the next place they go to after that, they're going to get fed from. So your line of defense is call the office and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, and then get some kind of direction as to what you should do.
Yeah, the other thing about loose leash walking is to remember to check your collar before you take them out.
Yes. I have your collar.
Two
Not very
fingers, three
well.
fingers. I have fat fingers. I use two. Valerie has skinny fingers. She uses three. But that collar, those rings that Wendy's showing you should not be coming together. And they will.
Yes.
If you have a dog that's struggling with walking easily and they're pulling, they're going to be taking that collar, making it bigger, and those rings are going to come together.
So we
You
want it
want
to
to
look
have-
like this. You want to have a
You
V,
want that triangle.
and your fingers go in here. Okay, so I have to adjust mine every, well, not mine, but Wilson's and Quinn's every maybe once a week. I mean, I'm always checking them because I can tell if Wilson's not responding to me to something. If I give him a little chink chink, and he's like, then I'm like, okay, that collar's not where it's supposed to be. So I would check it. So please be sure that you're checking those. So I kind of skipped right past loose leash walking and went into collars and other things. So sorry about that. Getting your dog to walk loosely on a leash. So it doesn't mean walking loosely in front of you. It literally means walking on a loose leash in a J next to you. That dog should be next to you. So sometimes when I go for a walk, if I'm mainly going out to go for the dog to go potty, I will give them a little bit of leeway. I will stop wherever I think they need to go potty, and I will let them kind of have control with the leash. I don't move from that spot. I just let them go back and forth, and they kind of wander around in front of me. They're going to go. You don't need to walk them all over the neighborhood to get them to go. They will go if you give him a couple of minutes. And I just stand in one spot. With Wilson, I want him to get used to, maybe, I don't know who he'll end up with, but some of our dogs are going to end up with people in wheelchairs, and they don't have that convenience of walking out into the grass and wandering around in the grass. They can only stand in one spot in their wheelchair. So the dog has to learn to go in the amount of space that you give them. So if you're like, oh no, my dog won't go unless I walk them 5 miles, that's not true. You've got to train them. Don't let them train you. So teach them to go in the spot that you've given them. They'll go pee, they'll go poop, they will learn. Your job is to train them to learn that and not to just go wherever they want to go. So then I'll let Wilson go, and then we come right back to heel and we continue on our walk. I'm not letting him walk out in front of me the entire walk. So if you're struggling with loose leash walking, maybe a walk forward is not what your dog needs. Maybe they need to walk in circles. Maybe they need to walk in figure eights. I'm trying to look and see if we've had any dogs right now that are struggling with that issue.
I know Viper was.
Yes, Viper was. Is Viper getting better? You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi. He's getting a little better.
Okay.
He's like, I mean, I pull him a lot, so it can't be good, but I'm like, constantly jerking him back because
Okay.
I tell him to heel
Right.
when we're out walking. But and so I know this is against the rules, right? But I didn't do it. I'm just telling you or asking maybe, but it's one of those, somebody suggested one of the those pokey spike collars. I know that's against the rules. I didn't do it. I didn't buy one, but
so you could call the office and talk to somebody there, and it's possible once in a while they will allow you to use a, Valerie, what is it? Can't remember what it's called. Help me out here.
Gentle leader or
Thank
a black dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
one of those.
not the choke collars, but the gentle leader or a black dog. That is a possibility. The other thing is when you're walking, and I know this takes time, but if he starts to pull, I would stop and wait for him to like look back at you, like, what are you doing? And then say Viper heel or just heel, and have him, he knows to heel because he's done it. He comes back to your side, and then you continue again. That's when that collar up behind his ears is going to make a big difference. Because if he figures out that every time you're walking, and you're going to stop and wait for him to get back in position. And every time you do, you're going to make sure that collar's up behind his ears. It's going to get better. But if you're jerking on that chain every second because he's ahead of you, you're just teaching him that you're just going to jerk on the chain. And he's
Yeah.
to pull on you.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've been stopping and making him turn around and,
Okay.
So we work on it
Good.
daily.
Good. Yeah.
One-
And I would
one of the
even work
things-
on it a few minutes in the house. You know?
And he should be better in the house because outside there's lots of distractions. Work on him in the house. And if you have to put his vest on him to kind of get his attention that, hey, you're working, dude, put his vest on him. Because lots of these dogs will kind of shape up a little bit when they have their vest on. They know they're working, and work him in the house. Work him on in the house until it's a nice loose leash.
Yeah.
And then go outside. And you know you've got it when that transfers, because dogs don't, was it Pat keeps saying they don't generalize.
Yeah.
I could do it in the house doesn't mean they'll do it outside. There's so many distractions outside that you want it solid in the house, and then it's going to be sketchy outside at first, but then it should start getting better even outside, because you got the behavior is there. They just have to be reminded, oh, ignore all that other stuff, look at me, here we go.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're
I don't
working
mean
on
to
it.
interrupt. Sean had given me a really good trick too. It's the magic wand, he calls it, but it's like a wood stick with peanut butter on the bottom of it.
Yep.
And just to keep it at your side, and it keeps that dog really super focused at your side. And we've done that some with Wrangler, and that's definitely helping.
Yeah. So you just take a wooden stick, you slap some peanut butter on there, and you walk with it down in front of their nose, and he'll lick. And then when I did it with the last dog it might have been Wrangler, I would let him lick for a few minutes, and then I'd pick it up. And if he was still right there, I'd be like, yes, good boy. And then when he started to go ahead, oh, nope, so he didn't get to lick it the entire walk. And they'll need water after. But yes, thank you,
For sure.
Eileen. That's that
You're
magic
Yeah,
wand.
the only time, when we go to the dog park, he doesn't, I don't know how all the other dogs are, but he doesn't come when called. I reached out when, we were at the dog park and he was running around. I was throwing a ball and he doesn't listen or come, and I had to get my, I spent a couple hours try to get him to come to me, but I had to get my son's friend ended up getting him.
Did you have anything that would entice him, like a treat or anything?
Yeah, I did have food. I had food. I had anything and everything. I had food. I was bringing treats and food, and he wouldn't. And I had a ball. I mean, nothing would bring him to me.
Okay, so how is his recall in the house or out in your backyard?
Kind of, I guess it's okay. I mean, he kind of just gives up after a few tries, I guess. I mean,
Okay,
he doesn't.
all right. Laura and I will
he's
get
not
with you and we'll talk about recall. Okay, we'll get
Okay.
with you and give you some
Thank you.
suggestions.
Okay.
All right, cool. What was next? What's next? Weight grooming, Lucy walking.
Do we want to talk about our skill of the month?
Yes.
Hang on, I'm finishing up attendance. I think I got it.
Okay, just a reminder, we'll remind you now, we'll remind you at the end that June 11th, there is a class at the Daytona Obedience Club. And I believe it was in the newsletter. If you did not get the newsletter for June, please put yourself in the chat and let Laura know. We'll make sure you get it. Also, the June 11th class is at 12:30, not at 10 o'clock, 12:30. So I hope you all can be there because that will be my last in-person class for a few months. I will miss you all. I'm going in my Airstream. So sad.
That's a good thing.
Right. It's a good thing. Yes. So that'll be my last in person probably until, I don't know, a few months, but I will be on Zoom.
One
often
other
as I can.
housekeeping before we break to do our training, our skill of the month. And that is, if you haven't turned in your evaluation for the month of May, officially they're due on the 1st. Caitlin's being really cool, just under the radar going, oh, but she's who's going to be looking at those and making sure we've turned them in. So be sure if you haven't done them, get them done. We don't want to be on the naughty list. And oh, by the way, there really isn't an official naughty list, but there might be. So, so if you haven't done your evaluations in a while, be sure and do this May, and try to get in that habit. And then those of you that are in the habit and are doing it, great. And Wendy, I'll remind you as I have in the past, but we're not sharing a dog, so we don't have to check notes. But
I know. Okay.
We actually have an automatic system that we're setting up just this month. Actually, did any of you guys get multiple requests to do the evaluations in the last couple days?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, we did.
Okay, apologies from the office. We are dealing with a glitch after automating for the first time. But the way we have it set up right now is you get a reminder to do it either the last day of the month or the 1st. And then after a week, you get another reminder if you didn't do it. And then one more a couple days later. So it's going to kind of keep track now of who isn't doing it. But
Caitlin, it also said that
I do not get anything automatically like everybody else does, and I've emailed and everything. It seems like I have to get it like separately after I request it, even the newsletter.
You just think you're special. That's all.
Is that what it is? Because Goose is so special.
I know. Well, put your email in the chat again, Melina. Put it in the chat so Caitlin can see it.
yeah, I just wrote it down, but
Okay. Well, there you go. So we'll see if.
well, that makes it a whole lot like work and not just coming to as a puppy raiser.
that's okay.
I noticed on this month's newsletter, the links in the newsletter aren't active. If you click on them, nothing happens. I had to figure a go around to get tonight's meeting. I don't know if that, and previously they had been active.
Yes, we are aware. We are not sure what happened, but we are working to figure it out for next month.
Oh, I found the same issue, but
Thank you.
if you download the newsletter, then the links are active.
Oh, so I did it from my iPhone and I clicked on all the links and everything came up. So.
Yeah, I was going to say I checked them before I sent it out, and
Yeah.
they were live. So maybe it does have like the download, maybe the key.
I have a quick question, circling back to the dog parks. We can take them to the dog parks like with other dogs or no? Because
It's not recommended, and particularly if it's crowded.
Okay.
Dog parks tend to not do a good job of separating dogs by size, or dogs go to dog parks that aren't necessarily dog friendly. There are some issues too with dog parks with spread of disease. If they're not picked up after and kept clean. Be your own judge, check it out.
Okay.
If it's vacant, I've been known to put a dog in that fenced area to have a run, particularly if I'm traveling. But I've also walked it a little bit just to check it before I let them go. And when traveling, I just don't leave them in long. Part of the issue too, Cherie, when you were talking about the dog wouldn't return, even at a dog park, you can put them on a long lead. If you're not sure that the dog is going to recall, keep them on a lead until you are sure.
Yeah, and yeah, there is nobody else there, so I wouldn't do that. I would, it's like at my, my, it's nearby, so it's not, it wasn't crowded, so there was nobody there.
That's the thing. It's kind of like swimming pools. The official deal is no, but you use your own good judgment and say, this is an okay time and place. The issue is the other dogs and the disease. Particularly if they're puppies, you don't want to be in that kind of a situation before they're 16 weeks old. Certainly our older dogs with their vaccines all in place, the place is theirs. It's your call. Is that fair, Wendy?
I think so. Yeah, I make it pretty much a habit not to do dog parks. I will take my dog and walk on the outside of a dog park so that my dogs can see other dogs, so that they don't get to the point where they think they're the most important and they're the only dogs in the world. I like them to see other dogs because at a dog park, a lot of times there's so many different dogs. So walking on the perimeter where they can't get in. But if I do find an empty dog park, I will sometimes let my dogs run in it. I try to avoid dog parks with other dogs just because you never know. You never know. And I would hate for something to happen. And, even one dog anything can happen. So just be aware of that.
Okay, thank you.
There's a risk.
Yes. And we certainly don't want to take risks with dogs that are not ours. I mean, ours for a time, but Okay. Next.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I was reading.
We're going to go to puppy push-ups. Is that what we're going to do?
Yes, I think so.
And that was, okay. So that was so I'll go first.
Or do you want me to show puppies first? Do you have kayaks up?
I have Delion, I have Kayak, and I have Wilson. So I have all 3 ages.
Okay, shall we start with the babies and then work up?
Yeah, mine are all kind of all together. So you can whatever you want me to do.
Okay.
You want me to start?
Well, let me do Ava and Suede.
Oh,
and then you can do yours, and then we'll do Bissell. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so you're gonna let me share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to if you took co-host.
Oh, wait, do something else for a minute.
What would you like me to do?
Co-host. I don't see how to do that.
You did it one time before. That's why I sent you the code. All right, so.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't see a thing on the bottom. I see participants chat, share screen. Oh, I can just share screen. I don't have to be a host.
Okay, there you go. The wonders of technology.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Bissell has started screen sharing.
Oh, good. I'm glad, but I got the wrong screen. So hang on. Here we go. Let's see. These are 2 pups. There are 6 months old almost. One of them is, the other one is almost. No, I guess they're both almost. This is Ava and Suede, and they're both breeders. And Kelly was really brave when she did hers. She was seated with Ava, and the fact that she had the dog doing what she needed to from a seated position is great, because sometimes that's really hard when you're on their level. And it's can you tell that it's loading?
Yes. Can you make it bigger?
Okay, here we go.
Can you enlarge the screen
Maybe, I'm trying.
or to the right?
Working. Yep. Even with distraction, yay. So that was Ava and Suede. And they were doing puppy push-ups.
So those are a really good activity. One to, if you're getting ready to go for a walk, you could start engaging your dog by doing those, you know, in the house before you get ready to go for a walk. You could just do them as an activity if your dog is acting bored. It also teaches them sit and down and just following your commands. The puppies
And
should be able,
go ahead.
can do it with a treat. Obviously, the older dogs you'll see with Wilson, I'll do it in a minute. Wilson starts with food at first, but then I switched to no food and he can do it. So the older dogs should be able to do both, with a treat, without a treat. And the older dogs, so with Wilson, I did stand and bark, or I'm sorry, speak. So if you have an older dog, they should be able to stand. They should, so I would throw in a couple of others. The puppies, I would stick, oh, words are hard tonight. I would stick to sit and down. But with the older dogs, I would add in some other things because they have the capability of doing them. Okay, you want me to show mine, Laura?
Yeah, you show yours and then we'll, because I did the same thing you're talking about with Bissell. I started out, I did one video with using treats and I realized how much I was giving him in terms of cues with my hands. So then I did another one later with no cues and my hands in my pockets. So
if we're doing puppy push-ups with puppies and or older dogs, switch it up. Don't do a sit down, stand, sit down, stand, because then the dog's gonna sit down, stand, whether you tell them to or not. They're gonna so I would mix it up, stand, sit, stand, down, you know. That's one of the problems we have in the prison. They teach them repetitively and they teach them the same thing repetitively. So when they come out, for instance, switch and to turn the lights on and off, they'll turn it on and then they'll turn it immediately off. So, because that's how they learned in prison. So if we can switch up the commands, that would be great.
Yes. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to try this. I'm going to turn it up on my phone and we'll see. All right, here we go. This is Delian, 8 months old. Sit, and we're going to practice puppy push-ups. Down. Yes, good boy. Okay, sit. Yes, good job. Down. Delian, down. Yes, good boy. Okay, so you'll see where he immediately went to his side instead of just going down forward. So it ended up on here that once he went to his side, he did not want to get back up and do it again. So I think I switched right to Kaya because I'm like, okay, we're going to move on. I went back to him later. I didn't just give up completely, but I was at school and I was just trying to get this on my camera so I could look at it later. So that was Delian. I think it switches to Kayak. We'll see. Come on. Yes, good. Sit. Ready, Kayak? Sit. Yes. Good boy. Down. Kayak down. Yes, good. Down. Kayak sit. Come on. Come on, buddy. Yes, good boy. Okay, so just a brief note. He had been up and down my stairs at my school 11 times that day. So he was pooped. And so I think if I had done it fresh in the morning or even earlier in the afternoon, but he was pretty busy that day. So I think he was like, no. So then I switched to him sitting and downing and waiting for food here just to throw in something different. And I also did it in the bathroom where it was echoey because Delion was outside the door. I didn't want him to eat his food, but I also wanted to give Kayak a different experience in the bathroom because it's super echoey. So that's what you're going to see next.
Yes. Wait. Wait. No. Kayak, watch me. Sit. Kayak, sit. Yes. Wait. Good, wait. Okay, release. Release. Go on, bud. Sit. Down.
Okay, so this is Wilson. Wilson is about 2.5 years old. And yeah.
Sit. Good. Wilson down. Yes. Sit. Stand. Stand. Yes. Good boy. Speak. Good. Sit. Down. Yes. Good job. Wilson. Sit. Yes. Down. Good boy. Wilson, stand. Yes. Speak. Speak. Okay.
So where I paused, there's like a little bit of a pregnant pause. He had gotten distracted by something on the floor. I think a treat had dropped. So I didn't keep saying Wilson's, whatever the command would have been next. Wilson stand, Wilson stand. I waited until I knew he would bring his attention back to me. And then I gave him the command. So yeah, your older dogs definitely mix up those commands. That's a fun thing to start or to do when just before you're getting ready. So Sherry, who has Viper, that might be something to engage Viper before you take him out for a walk or before he goes outside on the leash, is to work some commands with him, because engaging the dog prior to going out is super helpful, especially if your dog tends to be, I got to go for a walk. If you engage them a little bit, then they realize, oh, okay, I need to pay attention. I'm obviously working, or I should be behaving myself. So puppy push-ups is a great one to start with, and add in whatever else your dog will, they'll do in just that short period. Doesn't have to last forever, a couple minutes.
Do you want the Bissell ones?
Yep.
You've seen Goldens, and oh, by the way, Kayak and Ava are in the same litter, and so they're the same age, but there's just those individual differences. Notice too that with the puppies, we're using those treats as lures to get them into position, and they're getting treats more frequently. The older dogs, man, you can use the same one up and down, sideways, and then you pay off after they work for it a little bit. When on the babies, you're marking each of those commands because those commands are new, and you're really making sure they've got them. I think we won't have to wait as long this time because I've got my act together a little better. This is Bissell. Is that good? Can you see it?
Yep.
Can you? Okay.
I can. I hope everybody else can.
Okay. Yeah, got a grandson taking video for me. So hang on just a second and we'll see that second one. You saw me using my hands way too much. I was pointing, I was giving him all kinds of cues, and doing the video, I went, oh, wait. So even if you're not going to submit a video for the Zoom video, get somebody to videotape you working with your dog and look at it and then go, oh.
Yeah, true.
Okay, here's that last one. 20 seconds.
An inch.
Yeah, it's hard for me to keep my hands in my pockets, but I managed.
Okay, so the last training we were at, the executive director asked me to put my hands in my pocket and give my commands from there, which I did. And I will tell you, you don't realize how hard it is until you do it. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest this for the puppies yet, the real small puppies, but dogs that you've been working with, and they know the commands, I would try it. And especially those older dogs who've come out of prison, they've had one stint in prison, I would definitely put your hands in your pockets and give them the command, because we are going to have some recipients who don't have that capability of using hand commands. And so if that's what these dogs are learning, we're doing them a disservice as well as the recipient. So please be mindful of that. And it's something I forget a lot. It's so easy to go down and, we do the kissing noises, and we really want the dogs, they respond to that because the kissing noises are, a cute sound, and the snapping of the fingers. And I'll try to do it with just giving the dog the command. Your older dogs especially should be able to. Your puppies, you might just want, if they know sit, do sit with your hands in your pockets, and that's all you say. And if they know it well enough, they'll do it. If they don't, then it's a command you have to work on. So the dogs that are older and been to prison, I would run through the list of commands with the hands in my pocket, maybe do 5, every day or something. So you've gone through them all, but try not to use your hands. It's very difficult. It just makes you mindful of possibly a person receiving the dog who may not be able to do that. So I'm thinking of, and she would not mind if I used her name or her dog's name, but my friend who has Fajita, she is in a wheelchair, quadriplegic, and her hands are kind of like this. There is no way that she could give hand signals to Fajita. And so fortunately, Fajita doesn't work by hand signals. She is a voice command dog, but that's just, we really need to be mindful, all of us as raisers, we don't know who these dogs are going to go to. We know it's going to either be somebody possibly in a wheelchair, somebody possibly who is an autistic child, a veteran who maybe doesn't have the capabilities that most of us have. And so we just want to be aware of that. And so doing your commands with your hands in your pockets and not using the noises. I tend to use noises because they're dogs and they're cute. And I want to be like, yeah, look, come on. Wilson just looked up like, what do you want? So we know they respond to that, but not everybody can do that. So I think there needs to be an awareness.
The other thing too is to change your volume of your voice. We've talked about changing pitch. The high squeaky voice gets them excited. Well, okay, but some of our clients are monotone at best, and some of them have really, really soft voices. So sometimes Bissell gets his supper and he has to sit, wait. And then we release. And he just looks at me like, did you really say it? So vary your volume in addition to your tone, because that's another good way of telling, did the dog really get it? Or are they've got the sequence and here we go?
Yes. Yeah. Jeanette and I just worked with a young man yesterday who has autism, and he has a very calm, soft voice. And we were like, you know, you got to be, and some people it's just hard. They don't have that. That's not how their voice. Not everybody's loud and boisterous like Laura and I. I think I can include Jeanette in there too. But some are. I mean, it's just not everybody's like that. So if we can change our voices so we're really soft, then other people who are normally soft can change their voices so they're squeaky high or whatever, or very firm, or, you know, just want to use different tones so that your dog gets used to that, because not everybody sounds the same. Not everybody is loud and annoying like me, so.
Okay, we got our skill of the month. Practice puppy push-ups with your dog at whatever level they're at. And one of our groups on the 11th will be a puppy push-up show off. You'll have the opportunity to work with your dog with the distraction of other dogs. Now, some of us in multiple dog households, our dogs are learning to do that anyway. You heard a dog in the background when Luke and Kelly were working, and that dog wanted wherever they were and was not happy. The pups were still doing their thing because they're used to that distraction. But if you don't normally have other dogs around while you're working with your dog, those in-person trainings are a real test, because that's the big distraction.
True.
And we're going to do a different skill of the month. We're going to kind of try this for a little bit. We'll preview it in the newsletter. There'll be a clue as to what the skill of the month is going to be. And we'll then work on that one, have questions about how to teach it. And then at our in-person training, we'll demonstrate how's your dog doing with that command. That was one of the things you all asked about too in the surveys that you did. So if things are changing and you went, wait, why are they doing small groups? And why are they doing a skill and we're working on that and then we're like gonna show it off? That's because that's what the feedback was that we got from the survey. Well, I didn't do the survey. Well, maybe next time you should. Because if you don't like the things that are changing, you can tell us, no, you should do this instead. If enough people say that, we try to be responsive and listen.
Yes, and you put the survey when you did it, Laura, wasn't it on the Friends page and in the newsletter?
Yes, it was everywhere I could put it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that people had access to it. I was pretty sure they did. Jeff and Joy, who have Wakaiva, I think it was you guys who you mentioned a trainer that you listened to, and we put it in the chat, but I don't think I wrote it down. Can you tell me who that was again?
It's Beckman's Dog Training on YouTube. It's Joel Beckman.
Thank you. Okay.
And he has an excellent method for loose leash walking. Maybe 6 months ago, he did. I mean, you can search on there, but I think his method is fantastic. I've tried it on a lot of dogs and it really, really works.
Good. Cool. Good. So I'm going to put that, hold on, hang on one second. I'll change that. Nope. Oh, I know how you change it. Never mind. I just answered my own question. Okay. So I'm going to write that in the chat. So there's a few podcasts that I listen to. One of them is Zach George. I really like him. He's on YouTube. Andy has his own podcast. Also, McCann Dog Training I've been listening to. And I think I'm trying to think there's somebody, I listened to a few. Susan Garrett. I just picked up her Great Games, which is supposed to kind of cover a lot of things. So I'm just starting to listen to her. So I'm hoping the next month I'll be able to share some things from her. But any of those, you just have to realize that they're not going to use the same commands as we do. Some of them are going to be the same, but some of them are just going to be a different word. So just be mindful of that. The concept may be wonderful, but you have to remember to stick to our commands. So like Zach George doesn't use leave it. He uses something else. And so just be aware of that you're using our commands, but their idea might really work for your dog. So any of those, and a lot of these people are on YouTube, and some of them are just like a quick 10 minutes. The podcasts on McCann Dog Training are real good. You can find those under podcasts. They're on Spotify and wherever else you listen to podcasts. So just, you're going to work and it takes you 25 minutes to get to work, throw on a podcast and just hearing this kind of stuff and sharing it also. If you're listening and you hear something that, oh my gosh, this is really good, please share it, because we all are learning together. And our goal is the best for the dogs always.
Tom Davis, Upstate Canine, is an excellent trainer also. He has a whole thing on no bad dogs, and he does a lot of training with for loose leash walking dogs that are just out of control, and with 5 minutes of his technique, which is a lot like Joel Beckman's.
Okay.
The dogs are walking nicely on a leash.
It's Upstate Canine?
Yeah, and his name is Tom Davis. He's on
Okay.
YouTube. He has a
Okay.
channel.
Yeah, you know what? I think I've heard him before. Yeah. So it's not that one is better than the other. There are a lot of dog trainers out there. And so you have to listen and decide. These are just names people I've listened to, other raisers have listened to, that we have found helpful. So if you find somebody that's not in any of these names and you think, oh, they've given me some good suggestions, then let us know, because no one out there is perfect. Everybody's trying to learn how to do it right. And, we still have to follow the New Horizons commands and those types of things. But if we get some good ideas for how to do that, those are always helpful. All right, Laura, are we going to do the wheel? Does anybody have any questions before we do the wheel of names? And then
that's what I'm doing right now. I'll announce winners in one moment, please.
Any
Unless you
questions?
just want to.
If you have a question that is more than the time, like, because we'd like to get you guys off by 8. So if you have a question that's more than that, then we can stay on. But if you have a question that's quick, that would be for the good of the group, we'd like you to ask it now.
Okay, I have a comment, not a question. If
Okay.
you find a trainer if you have a trainer or if you find somebody online and you don't agree with something they're doing, don't do it. If your gut says what they're doing is wrong, don't do it. Okay. But I mean, they may do something good, like healing or whatever, but for some reason, leave it. You don't agree with what the method they're using for leave it, then don't do it. When in doubt, don't do it.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep. Yep. I'm pretty sure most of us, all of us here have a form of common sense. So there's been a couple of things that I've listened to podcasts and gone, ooh, that really doesn't fit with us. And so I just toss it aside. But anything that I feel like would be useful, would help me, make me a better trainer, better raiser, then I will try to make a note of it, or, make a mental note. Yeah, those mental notes don't work. I actually have to write it down. So thank you, Jenna.
Okay, and the Wheel of Names has given us Valerie and Hoover were the first ones drawn.
Yay!
Samantha and DeLeon were the second pair. And Katie Knight and whoever are the third one. So we'll see you in person or not. And Samantha, I know if we don't see you in person, we'll make connections, or I'll try to find something we can stick in the mail and you can get that as well.
Yes, so Saturday, June 11th, 12:30.
12:30.
Daytona Obedience Club. The address, everything you need to know is in the newsletter. And we hope to see
anybody besides Melina who's special and didn't get it and needs it sent. If you'll put your information, your email in the chat, I'll try to get it. Caitlin will see it. I'll send it to you tonight if you put it in there right now.
Also, thank you everybody for showing up to these. We hope they're helpful. Please don't hesitate to tell Laura and I, if you want to see something specific, you're not getting enough, you don't take, we just want to be sure everybody's taking a nugget, something they can go, oh, I'll remember this the next time. So let us know. We are not the offended. We do not get offended easily. So let us know. We're here for you guys. That's why we do this, so that we can all become better raisers together. So if you have questions, comments, let us know.
Wendy, Eileen's got her hand up. I don't know if it's just still up or if she has a concern.
Who is that?
Eileen Shapiro?
No, it was still up from before when I raised about the peanut butter. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't realize I had to take it back down.
No worries. I just saw it and didn't want to close. I didn't want to close with you hanging. I didn't want to leave you hanging.
Thank you.
Okay.
8 o'clock, straight up.
8 o'clock. All right, we're out. Peace. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see some of
Thank you all.
in
30. There were 30 tonight. 30.
Woo!
Woo!
Hey, Laura, are you going on Saturday?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
You
planning
are.
to. If
Okay.
it's a washout, I'll meet you at the 7-Eleven. But if
Okay, because I mean, Hoover won't be coming with me because he will just be getting neutered tomorrow, but I
Right.
still wanted to come if people are going.
yeah, I'm gonna bring Bissell. He just needs the exposure to other dogs.
Yeah, well, so does Hoover, but we'll see how it goes at the vet tomorrow.
He's 100% sometimes, and the next time he's a nutcase. And it's so unpredictable. So I'm just hoping to take him and sit in a spot and have dogs go by, and I'm gonna feed him his breakfast while he's quiet. I hope.
that picture that they have, I'm assuming that's Emerald. What was such a pretty dog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She had her 1-year birthday in April, and she's really gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful.
Did you like DeNozo reading the newsletter, Wendy? Did you see that picture?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. It's on the Friends page.
Okay.
Wendy, come on down.
Okay, Sherry, what do you want? She says, please send me one. Is she talking about a newsletter?
Yeah, I was just saying that I didn't get the newsletter. But if it's on Facebook, I can just see it there.
I did link it on the Friends page, but I'm copying your email as we speak, and I'll get it sent to you.
Okay, thank you.
Always helpful.
Not always. Sometimes I'm just obnoxious, but I have my moments.
Okay.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night. Thank you.
I'm out. I'll see you guys. Thanks a lot, everybody.
It was good to see you, Kelly and Luke.
Yes.
Don't you know you're not supposed to bring a cat to a dog party? I saw the cat.
He's your kid.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, Laura, will you give us a call?
Yes, I will. I had to hear because I'm not looking, so I had to see.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I'll give you a call in just a sec.
All right, bye. Bye,
All right,
Wendy.
bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, Wendy. It was good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Your package came.
Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I'll see you tomorrow. I think I'll
Yes.
see you tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do my best to remember to put it in.
Okay.
Do you need the stuff that I picked up in front of the garage too?
No, please don't bring that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's stored in the back of the Mini right now.
Okay. Well, I'll get it.
So it's available at any time. It's a self-service operation. You just open the Mini, call it good.
Awesome. All right. Peace out. I'll talk to you later. Thank
All
you.
righty.
All right. Bye.
Bye.